Hi, I'm Lynette and welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a face brush declutter. Now, this will be my second one. I did my first one earlier this year, and I actually did a combination of eyeshadow brushes and face brushes. So this is the amount that I actually got rid of at the beginning of the year. And as you can see, there are quite a few that I've decluttered. Most of them are eyeshadow brushes, but I do have some face brushes in there. So this time around, I'm just going to be doing face brushes. And the first brush declutter, believe it or not, was really easy because I just got rid of brushes that I really just never use, will never use, or really just don't like. This one was a little more difficult because most of these brushes, the large majority of these brushes, I do like. I just have way too many. Yes, even after decluttering all of these, I still have way too many brushes. So it's not going to be that many, but I need to just open up some more space in my collection, not to add more or new brushes, just so that I don't have to buy more storage, because I just don't want to buy more storage. And it's getting to the place where when it gets time for me to wash my brushes, it's like, yeah, a real chore. So let's get started with this face brush declutter. Okay, let me start off with a warning. All of the brushes are dirty. Okay, all but one of the brushes is dirty, okay? Alright, so I'm going to start off with two brushes from NYX. And this is their contour brush, the number 23 brush. And as you can see, I have two of them because I like them. And they're very well made. Look at the design on there with the taper there in the middle, and they've got like this really architectural type design here, and they're nice and black. And then the bristles really dense, really densely packed, and a lot of them. So really nice brush for contour because it's so dense, and you can blend it out. You might get a little bit more of a defined contour with these, but because there are so many bristles and it is rather fluffy, although densely packed, you can blend it out and make it a little softer. And really nicely made brushes. I think NYX brushes are kind of on the expensive side, just like the whole brand for the drugstore anyway. But these are really well constructed. I've had them for years, and I used to use them quite often. But now I just have other contour brushes, especially the ones from, they're the Omnia, the Royal and Langnickel. Natural hair ones that I bought that I really love, and I have some others. And like I said, many of these brushes I really like. I just need to get rid of some brushes. I just have too many. But if you're looking for a more affordably priced contour brush, and one that is awfully stylish, then I would recommend these from NYX. Next are a couple of brushes from Real Techniques. This is a blush brush. I got it at Ulta on a really good sale, and it's a really pretty brush. Nice brush, nice and densely packed, and it's got kind of like this oval shape on top. And it's a nice blush brush, and stylish too, but have too many blush brushes. This is also a Real Techniques blush brush. I never really liked this one. The hairs on it are too long for me, and I like something more like this with shorter bristles. But yeah, so I never really liked this brush, and now I'm getting rid of it finally. I have some brushes from BH Cosmetics. Now, you've seen all of these brushes before. This is from the Crystal. These three here are from the Crystal Quartz set. It came in a set with eyeshadow brushes. I decluttered, I think, all of the eyeshadow brushes, and these are several of the face brushes. I still think I have one of the contour brushes that I really like that I decided to keep, and I really like these too. All nice brushes. Again, very attractive brushes with the white handles and the shiny purple ferrule. And then again, a lot of bristles. These brushes are soft. I have washed them several times without issues, and I've used them for a combination of blush and contour, as well as powder for powder. So it's a nice set, and I would certainly recommend it, as I have before. Again, I just have too many, so these have got to go. And then I have this angled brush from BH Cosmetics, and it's one of their studio brushes, and this is the V3, and is it the studio? No, it's not the studio. Oh, it's the vegan. It's from their vegan line, and you know I have several of their powder brushes that I use to set my foundation from this line, and I have some of their eye brushes too, but I just don't use angled brushes. So it's, again, nothing wrong with this brush, I just don't really use angled brushes, period. So this one is leaving my collection. Now these are a couple of brushes from Juno and Company, and I bought these brushes years ago. They no longer, Juno and Company no longer makes these brushes. They still have face brushes. Actually, they just introduced new brushes, but they are not in this style. And I actually prefer this style compared to what they have out now. I bought these brushes for $2 a piece. Yes, $2 a piece. Probably the best $2 I've ever spent. Because look at them. They, to me, are the Kat Von D knockoffs with the design, the black, and then they have this pointed, tapered handles, really long. They're actually quite weighted as well. They don't feel cheap at all for $2 brushes. They feel quite heavy, quite weighted, and again, a lot of bristles. They're two-tone, they're dirty, but they're two-tone brushes, which I really like the look of two-tone brushes. They're black here, and then they're white on the tips. And I love these brushes, and the fact that I only paid $2 for them is just still amazes me. I'm going to see if I can give these brushes away. Like maybe my sister will want them once I clean them up, of course, because these are fantastic brushes, and that's why I haven't gotten rid of my big bag of brushes, because I don't know what well, first I gotta wash them, but then I don't know what to do with them. So I think I'm gonna try to find people to give them to or donate them before I throw them in the recycle bin. But yeah, these brushes are very hard for me to part with, but something's gotta go. So unfortunately, these two have gotta go. Now for some more recent purchases right here. These are the Paris Tools Marc Jacobs knockoff brushes that I recently picked up in a more recent haul. Earlier this year, I believe it was. Maybe it was the end of last year. I think it was this year though. From Copycat Beauty. And these brushes look so aesthetically pleasing. As you can see, I've used all but one. Now this isn't all the brushes I bought. I think I bought like 7 brushes. I still have, I think, 2 brushes. They're foundation brushes that I haven't used yet, but I'm going to hold on to because I like the shape of those brushes. And yeah, so I just want to hold on to those 2. But these I'm going to get rid of, and I've used all but the one. This brush, these brushes in general, just, you know, they didn't really impress me. I have quite a few affordable brushes like those BH Cosmetics quartz, for example, what is this, quartz, whatever this was, set. Those are really nice. These just didn't really impress me. They look really pretty, look very attractive, but feel very cheap. And this one here is a little scratchy. They're not the softest brushes I own, not even for affordably priced brushes. I have more affordably priced brushes that are softer than these. And yeah, they just, like, this shape, I don't really use it. Like, I don't know, the shape on this one to me is a little weird, and I'm sure I probably used it for blush or maybe contour, but just not, just this one here I wasn't very impressed with. So yeah, and this one I never used, but again, the shape of it just, it would work well as a blush brush, but just not what I go for. The hairs are kind of long, and yeah, I just wasn't impressed with any of these brushes. And I think that if you want to buy some more affordable brushes, I wouldn't recommend these. I would recommend anything from BH Cosmetics, from Real Techniques. I wouldn't recommend these. So these have got to go. This is another brush from Shop Miss A. This is the AOA Studio F13. And did I use it? It looks like I used it once, but just not my cup of tea. And it's kind of on the cheap side too. So I probably only paid like $1 or something for it because they're really cheap. And I did want to try an AOA Shop Miss A haul, and this was one of the things I got, and yeah, not impressed, so she's gonna be decluttered. This is a Wet n Wild brush. It was from a holiday set. I don't remember which one. I think it was last year, maybe 2018, not sure, but I think it was like an anniversary holiday set that this came in. And surprisingly, because I think it was like $30 for the set of brushes, and then I got it, they had it on sale for $15, so that's when I grabbed them. Very, very affordable. Was not expecting very much from these because they're very pretty, very attractive, but you know, they feel kind of, well, it's got a little weight on it, but you know, they're look a little cheapy, you know. But to my surprise, I actually liked a couple of these brushes. But yeah, and I like this brush, but you know, again, I have plenty of powder brushes like this in my collection, so she's gonna go, but nice brush. This is an old brush. This is a brush from MAC. It was limited edition Diana Ross. And it's so old, like all the writing has come off. It's got some green there in the hairs. I don't even want to guess what that is. But this brush sheds ridiculously so, but I've had it for many, many years. As a matter of fact, I had to glue the ferrule back on because it's separated from the handle. Which, you know, I was kind of annoyed at because I hadn't had it that long, and MAC brushes back in the, well, they're still the same price. This is natural hair though. MAC brushes are very expensive, and for this to be limited edition and all of that, and then for it to fall apart like that was really annoying. And for it to be Diana Ross and all that. I bought it because of the pink handle. The handle was pink. It's a little bit faded these days. But yeah, so I am really not at all mad about getting rid of this brush. It's way, way past time. This is a brush from Delium Tools, the 962 brush. I got it free with an order from Delium Tools, and yeah, it's a nice brush. Matter of fact, it's a nice brush, but again, it's an angled brush, and I don't really use angled brushes, so yeah, she can go. This is a blush brush from Ecotools. Nothing wrong with this brush. It's pretty dense. It's got a lot of bristles. It's very well constructed. I've washed it several times. I've had this for a few years now, and it's a good sturdy brush, but I never liked it. I don't know what it is about this brush. Maybe it's too firm. I'm just not sure. I use it for blush, and I just have many other blush brushes that I like better than this one, so time for her to go. And my last two brushes are high-end brushes. This one is from Makeup Forever. This is an old brush. Not even sure if they still make this. This is the 55N, and it's a dual fiber, although it's not really dual fiber because the whole thing is synthetic, but it's in the style of a dual fiber brush. And this is what I used, you know, when on the rare occasions. Well, back in the day, I used to use brushes more. Before I started getting into, well, before they came out with a makeup sponge, I was using brushes. And So I used to use this to stipple in my foundation, and it's actually not the softest brush. It's kind of scratchy, honestly. I've washed it several times and it hasn't gotten any softer. And yeah, I just don't need this brush, so getting rid of it. And last but not least is an oldie but a goodie. This is a brush that was talked about back in its day. It was a hot item, a hot ticket. This is from NARS, and this is their Eata Brush. And yeah, look at the dirt. Ooh, Lord. It's a wooden handle. It's unlike any other brush I have in my collection. It's a wooden handle, and look at the way it's put together. And it's natural hair brush, and very expensive. I got the last one that they had in Lord & Taylor. I think this is right when they were getting rid of the brush, so they had them discounted, and I got it for like really cheap, like way less than the brush retails for. And I've had it for years, and it has really held up. It sheds very little, actually, very little shedding. Ooh, look at the dust. And it's just an interesting brush. The construction is very interesting, but a hardy brush. And I used to use this to contour, and nowadays, for what I like, you know, it's a little too like thin, the shape of it, like a rectangle. Not a lot of hairs at all, not fluffy, not very fluffy at all. So this really gives you more of a defined contour. If you're looking for a sharp defined contour, this brush really does it, because it's really not fluffy enough to really give you a natural blend. Ooh, Lord. So yeah, so it's a brush I used for years. It has held up quite well, quite beautifully actually, but my preferences have changed and when it comes to contour applications. So finally gonna lay this baby to rest. So these are all the brushes I am getting rid of today, adding that to the collection that I've already gotten rid of. And I still have a lot of brushes, and there are still some face brushes that I could stand to get rid of. Like there's some Sigma brushes, some angle brushes and things that I could get rid of, but I've decided at this point I don't want to part with any of my Sigma brushes right now. So I definitely could still clear up a little more space, I think, in my face brush collection. But right now I'm going to roll with this, with what I have. I have been able to free up some space so that, you know, the way that I store my brushes in containers like this, and they're so densely packed together. I have so many in the containers that it's starting to ruin some of the hairs, some of the bristles in the brushes. And so that's what also prompted me to get rid of some, because you know, I pay good money for my brushes, whether they were affordable, more high-end, or luxury, and I don't want to just ruin them. So yeah, so now I have a little more space. Not a lot, believe it or not, not a lot. But I have a little more breathing room for my brushes. So that is it. Please let me know, are there any brushes in your collection that you need to get rid of but just haven't been able to bring yourself to do? What are some of your favorite or least favorite face brushes? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you liked this video, then please give it a like and consider subscribing, because I do these types of videos, reviews, haul, swatches, and tutorials here every Saturday. As always, I'd like to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.